Hello and welcome to this bonus preview episode of Real Life Business. I'm your host, Claire Markwick, and in this episode, I thought I'd take some time just to let you know a little bit more about what to expect from Real Life Business, who this podcast is for, who it's not for, and to introduce me a little bit too. This has been a project that has been a really long time in the making for me, and I've wanted to make sure that I get it right as much as possible. You know, there's never going to be a perfect time to implement something, but I feel that now is the right time to launch this idea. So I'm thrilled that you're here listening. Buckle your seatbelts, grab yourself a cuppa or your beverage of choice for the next 15 minutes or so and sit back and learn what you can expect from real life business. So before we get into that though, who is this podcast not for? I think we'll start there. I guess if you're in business and you're looking for a podcast that's going to be sharing sort of technical advice, you know, getting people on and hearing from them about their technical expertise in marketing strategy, for example, or social media or websites or funnels or branding or leadership development. We've got guests coming on this show that do all that stuff, but their primary purpose for coming on the show is not to share their technical expertise. And we'll go into what it is about sharing in a moment. So I guess if you're in business and you're looking for that more technical level podcast, then this might not be the show for you. If, on the other hand, you are a small business owner and you are looking for balance between operating and growing your business and life in general, then perhaps this is the show for you. If you're a business owner and you're longing for calm, you're waiting for that time when you feel like you're in control and that you've got your shit together, this could be the show for you. Newsflash, however, that time will never come. It's something that I've learned. You know, there will always be something that comes up if we choose to let it. What I've learned along the way is that success comes from learning to navigate through those challenges and pressing forward despite or in spite of everything that's going on around us. So if you're in business and you're looking for inspiration and encouragement and support to help navigate that journey of balancing business and balancing life, then Real Life Business could be the show for you. So what can you expect? Well, each week, I am going to be interviewing real life people, sharing their real life stories about the real life stuff that goes on behind the scenes of running a business. So like I said earlier, we will have marketing gurus, we will have web developers, we will have leadership coaches, we will have branding specialists, we'll have people who are specialists in their field, but they're coming on to share their stories. They're coming on to share their journey. They're coming on to share the real life stuff that impacts how we feel about our business and therefore how successful our business essentially can become. So we have got episodes about running a business in your 20s when all your mates are off partying. We have got an episode on surviving bankruptcy. We have got episodes talking about the emotional toll of serious illness and serious accidents, managing mental health issues, surviving domestic abuse, money worries, balancing being a mum and a wife and a business owner. All these things impact how we run our business and how successful we feel and how in control of life we feel. And they're all things that we're going to be talking about on Real Life Business. So if that's the kind of thing you're in for, if that's the kind of ride that that you're on, learning how to balance all that stuff, if you want to hear from other people going through the same things as you, just for the validation of holy hell, thank God I'm not the only one feeling this way, or thank God I'm not the only one going through this, then this is the show for you. This is real, and this is all the stuff that we've got coming up over the next, I think I've got 2 months worth of content pretty much mapped out already. It's amazing the enthusiasm to be a part of this and to share the stories. I think if 2020 and COVID-19 has taught us anything, it's exposing the human behind a business. It's not having that perfectly polished facade. It's allowing our vulnerability to shine through. It's allowing our human to shine through. And I think that's really, really important. So if this is sounding like the kind of thing that you are in for, then hit the pause button right now and click subscribe on whatever podcast app you're on, so that you never miss an episode and you will be the first one to know as each episode drops. So do that right now, then come back. So who am I? Who am I? You could be listening to this. You could be a friend, a colleague, a family member, a current client, a past client of mine, and you know exactly who I am, and you are with me for the ride of real life business. Then again, you could have come across this episode completely by chance, and whichever camp you fall into there, thank you for tuning in and hitting play and listening. My name is Claire Markwick. I am the host of Real Life Business, and I was born and bred in the UK. I moved to Australia once I finished uni, probably much the same as what generally happens the other way. I think Pommies generally come to Australia after uni and vice versa. I think there's a lot of Aussies that went to the UK after school and uni, pre-COVID, obviously. So, wow, geez, I'm 40 now, so that would have been nearly 20 years ago. Wow, time flies when you're having fun. So I'm an accountant by profession, and essentially I lost my career mojo. I lost my mojo for numbers. And at the time, that was really, really scary for me. It coincided with having kids. So anyone listening to this who has kids probably has experienced something similar, in that your priorities change. And, I went from being very, very career driven, very, very focused, very totally knowing exactly where I was, what I wanted, felt 100% in control, to feeling a little bit all over the place. I didn't feel like I was doing my job particularly well, because I had half my head thinking about, oh God, how are the kids doing at daycare? I wonder if they're okay. Did they stop crying? I wonder if they've got to sleep. Are they eating? And then when I was at home, the days I was at home, I was thinking, shit, I should have sent that thing to that client, and that deadline's coming up, and then I've got to remember to do this when I'm in next. So I felt in a real half and half space. I didn't feel like I was doing the professional role particularly well, and I didn't feel like I was doing the stay-home mum thing particularly well either. I felt completely half-assed and half-baked, and that was a really scary place for me to be. And what kind of emphasized that even further for me was the fact that on the surface, everything looked grand. I have still an amazing husband, 2 beautiful boys, a lovely house, nice cars, boat, camper trailer, motorbikes, all the toys. We go away on holidays. So we had all that stuff. So from the outside looking in, everything would have looked awesome. But yet on the inside, I felt completely empty and completely lost. And that was a dark time for me. I'm sure there's going to be elements of that story that come out. I know that some of the guests we've got lined up, we're going to be talking about balancing that mum life, balancing all that other stuff. So I know that more of that story is going to come out. And there's a few people who we've got lined up to be guests on the show who have made that move from corporate to now running their own business. So more of that story is going to come out, I'm sure, over the coming weeks. So fast forward to now, I still have that amazing husband I was talking about, who also runs his own business. He has an electrical business that has just gone crazy over the last 12 months. I think as people are spending more time at home due to COVID, they realize all the things that they need fixing and upgrading, and the fact they don't have enough PowerPoints for their home office and things like that. So yeah, his business has been going crazy as well, which is awesome, but at the same time throws in its own challenges. We have two boys, 10 and 7. So Kaiden is in year 6 and Tal is in year 3. It is quite hard to believe that we have a son going into high school next year. But that is a whole other story. Again, I'm sure lots of stories about the boys are going to come out through these episodes. In terms of what I do now, so I have left my accounting and finance career behind. I'm the founder of a business called Reignite Performance Coaching. Now, I'm a performance coach focusing on developing businesses through developing the people that operate them. So I'm of the belief that, we can have the best strategy and systems and business plans and processes in the world. But if we don't have the right attitude, if we don't have the resilience, if we don't have the confidence to use them, then they're useless. So that is my focus. It is on people development to facilitate business development. Again, probably going to be more about that coming up all through future episodes. If you're curious to find out more, you can check out my website at www.reignitepc.com.au. So I've moved countries. I have got through relationship breakups. I've survived toxic work cultures. I've lived through death, through suicide. I've broken my back. I have experienced a lot and I have learned a lot. Do I know everything? Have I learned everything? Hell no. And that is part of the reason that I wanted to do a podcast like this, because there is so much that I am going to learn from interviewing these people to create this show. So I am really excited about the learnings and the life lessons that are going to come out of these episodes. I think for me, the biggest impact on my business right now is managing my emotions around our boys. If you've got kids, you're probably in the exact same position in that, these kids come out of the same mold, yet are completely and utterly different. Start with Tyler, youngest. He is soft, kind, gentle, compassionate, caring, committed, dedicated, loves to learn, hates getting in trouble, hates doing anything wrong, will bend over backwards to make sure that everybody else is okay ahead of him, which is beautiful, but also has its own challenges. Kaiden, on the other hand, the complete opposite, very, very similar to his mother, as much as it pains me to admit. Very, very headstrong, very, very independent, totally wants to break the mold all the time. It's kind of rules schmools. Who cares if that's what I'm supposed to do? This is what I want to do, so I'm going to do it, which is awesome and is going to potentially set him up for amazing success in the future. It is not so awesome when he is supposed to fit in a box at school. So that is something that I personally really, really struggle with at the moment. Working out how to be the best mum that I can be to these two completely different souls, but at the same time, how I keep my shit together to enable my business to continue to grow and for me to be able to show up and give 110% to my clients. Because if we've had a really shitty morning and, I've sent the boys off down the driveway to the bus, having yelled and screamed and argued and tears and shouting, and then I have to come in and facilitate a coaching session or run a workshop, I need to be able to get my shit together. I need to be able to leave that stuff at the door. And that is something that I am still learning to do. So I'm really hoping that we're going to have some awesome episodes in real life business that can give us skills and teach me skills on how to better manage my emotions. So I don't feel like, I call it an emotional hijack. When something happens and you just completely and utterly, it just floors you. So yeah, that's probably the biggest challenge that I have right now, how I can be the best mum that I can be, the best wife I can be, the best coach I can be, and the best version of me. So look, that's a little bit about me in a nutshell, and probably enough about me, to be quite honest. If you're still here listening, thank you. Thank you so much. I am thrilled that this podcast is finally going live. And as I say, I'm sure you will hear far, far more about my stories interwoven through all of these episodes. So what now? Well, now there's 3 things to do. Number 1, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button right now so you will be first to know of each new episode of Real Life Business as it drops. Number 2, head on over to Facebook and find the Real Life Business Facebook group. This is going to be a great place where we can build community and engage with each other between each episode. So I'm really excited to see you over there. We're also going to be on Insta, so I will post the links to both of those groups down in the notes of this podcast. Third and finally, if you have anyone in your network that you feel would get value from a podcast such as this, then please share it with them. There are some amazing people coming on this show sharing some really personal stories, and they're doing so to pass on the lessons that they have learned to people who need to hear it. So if there is someone that you know that would get benefit from a show like this, helping them grow their business whilst maintaining the balance of life, then please share. That's it from me, guys. I will see you all really soon for our first episode. Thanks for listening. Take care. Bye-bye.